You see us on?
And testing. Not yet. It's usually a bit delayed. It says that we're live. And testing. Not yet. It's usually a bit delayed. So if you go to YouTube and mute, or if you just pause that, we're live. Just pause. Yeah, there. Good. Yep. I'll just turn down my. So if you go to YouTube and mute. Okay. There we go.
Waiting. So there's some waiting. That's good.
Then is anybody on yet? Go back to the live. They're watching now. Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. Welcome, ladies. How are you?
Hello, everyone.
I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Deanna.
And we're going to be your VUI's team for this weekend. We are very, very excited for all of you to attend this conference in Pittsburgh. So we're very, very much looking forward to you coming out to the Westin to enjoy a really incredible weekend full of entrepreneurship and learning and networking and making lifelong friends, hopefully, for many, many of you. But we just wanted to introduce ourselves, kind of say hello to you ladies, answer a couple of questions if you have any. I know that some people were asking about agendas, and we can definitely touch on that tonight too. I'm going to be sending out, we just got to Pittsburgh just a little while ago, so we're just kind of getting settled in. And then this evening, I'm going to be sending everybody an email that has an overview of the agenda, answer some of the questions about when to arrive, and kind of like what the dress code is for the weekend, some of the speakers, instructors that we're going to have here, and any other questions that you pop into the chat. So if you have questions, definitely feel free to do so, and we'll try and answer those quickly.
I'll be monitoring the YouTube chat. So I see we have a couple people on, Viola, Rochelle, looks like Kendra, and it just has your login name, Bangla to Baghdad. I see and hear you. Great. So I'm so glad that you can see us and hear us, and this is the time for you to ask any questions about phase 2, what to expect for the conference, as Alyssa said. Something that Alyssa doesn't know about yet, but on Thursday, I will be doing a short little Facebook Live Thursday evening, just kind of showing you how to get up to the registration table, what it's all look like. It's pretty easy. It's on the 2nd floor, so you'll just come in the front. You'll be able to check into your room. You can head right up the escalators or the elevators or the stairs, 3 different ways to the 2nd floor, and our registration table will be right there. So I'll be doing just a little brief, probably 5 minutes on, just to show you, and that'll be recorded, and you can view it later if you need to. Let's see if we have any questions right away. All right, so we'll probably just give you a little rundown of phase 2, and Alyssa, I'll just start, and then you can chime in as needed. So you really probably haven't heard much from me yet. You'll see me on Friday. Alyssa is really the one that takes care of you, and she does a great job. I will be kind of up on the stage, running around, doing pretty much all the instructions that are needed at the end of each session. And then we have our director, Misty. You'll see Misty Stutzman a lot. She has blonde hair just like me. Some people get us confused a little bit, but you're going to meet her, and she'll be kind of introing everything, every main session. So if you need anything at all, Alyssa and I or Misty is the team to go to, and you'll be able to meet Misty on Friday as well. So we start with registration in the morning and through the afternoon from 11 to 4. And then Alyssa will keep communication, as I know some of you may not be able to arrive by 4 or may have to arrive a little later. Just keep communicating with Alyssa throughout the day just to make sure, and she will connect with you and let you know whether registration will continue or whether it will be at a different time.
Just to jump in real quick, if I don't apologize right away, that doesn't mean that I don't see your email. It's just there are about 175 of you who are coming out, which is amazing because that means you guys are going to have a great group. But that just means I'm coordinating logistics here at the hotel, just to make sure everything is all set for you. And like Deanna said, the registration is going to be on the 2nd floor, which is going to be easy access for you. But at some point on Friday, we are probably going to move that upstairs to the 3rd floor, which is right outside of the ballroom where the main session is going to take place. So just Deanna will cover that on Thursday evening with her live session. But I just don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you. I do see your emails, and I do try to get back to them as soon as I can. It's just today we were traveling, and then we're doing some on-site logistics just to make sure everything is settled.
Yeah, don't worry if you have any, travel issues. It happens. We have it happen every conference. We will accommodate you as best as we can. Your room will not get canceled. We will notify you before anything like that happens. And then just a quick note about your room. You've probably gotten a lot of this in email communication, but just make sure that you have a credit card or debit card so that they can put that on file. And that is just for incidentals only. That will not charge the room unless you're staying some extra nights that you've already communicated with to Alyssa. It will not charge you. It may put a small hold, and you can ask the hotel how much it will put. They'll inform you. If you have any issues with that, just come to the registration table after you've done the check-in process or during. Come to the registration table up on the second floor, and we'll help you out as best as we can with that. So anyway, we start with a kickoff at 5 p.m. We have a great networking time with some drinks and some heavy hors d'oeuvres. It's going to be set up really nice. This is the time to dress to impress. You can have the opportunity throughout the evening there to take professional headshots free of charge from a professional photographer that we've hired to come in, and you'll connect with them, and then they'll work with you to get you your headshots digitally. So that's just something that you can do. You don't have to sign up ahead of time. We'll make sure that that's noted exactly where it's located. We'll have flyers up so that you know where to go for that. That will also be offered on Saturday evening as well from 6 to 8. So if you miss out on Fridays, you've got Saturday still to do that. You'll see the photographer throughout the weekend. If at any time, and we just want to make sure this is clear, if at any time you feel uncomfortable and you don't want your picture taken or any video taken, we might do some testimonials. Just let the photographer know, and they will make sure that they no longer take pictures of you. We want to protect your privacy, and all that we use those photos for is for promotion. So we put them, we post some on Facebook. We may use some in a brochure someday, or we post them in an album that everybody can view, and you can kind of pull pictures if you find some that you're in, or some really neat group shots. We will be taking a class picture, we like to call it, on Friday night at the end of the opening ceremony. We'll all come up in a semi-orderly fashion up onto the stage, and we'll take a nice big group photo. So it's a great time to wear your business professional, to, like I said, dress to impress. So we have the networking from 5 to 6. We have our opening ceremonies from 6 to 8, which is a great program. Most of that program is put together by Jill Chambers and Michael Peterson. They've put together some great videos. We'll be honoring 2 women who've made an impact throughout their life, whether that be first in something that they've achieved or just kind of paved the way for other women and other people in general to go after them. So that'll be great, a great time, and you'll be able to meet those 2 women later on. We also have a keynote speaker that night, Angie Bastian. She is the founder of Boom Chicka Pop. You'll get a little bit of a taste of Boom Chicka Pop while you're here, literally. And she'll be doing a nice keynote address to us in that opening ceremony. And then we'll just have a little bit of entertainment by Michael Peterson there later to kind of close it all out. Once we do the class photo, we'll all file back out into the foyer, and we'll have a really, really nice dessert, some assorted desserts and coffee. I think we're doing like a chocolate fountain as one of the things, so it'll be pretty nice. I'm pretty excited about that. Do we got any questions so far?
Yes, we have one question from We Are Lit. So the hotel will accommodate you ladies let me start over with that. I'm going to be sending everybody their confirmation numbers this evening. So we just wanted to make sure we had a finalized folio before we sent those out. So if you have requested any additional nights, they should be included with that. But I will be giving you a confirmation number so that you are all set. I know some people have received emails from the hotel already saying that they were excited to have you here, which is awesome. As far as early check-in goes, the hotel will accommodate you as as early as they can. So if for some reason they cannot give you an early check-in, because we are a large folio, how they will do it is they will do it kind of on a first come, first served basis as rooms become available. If they don't have a room available for you, what they will do is they will take your luggage for you and take your number, and then they will either call or text you to let you know when your room is ready. And in that time, we have a hospitality suite that will be set up for you ladies, which has some light refreshments, some drinks, some snacks for you to go in and sit down and kind of take a load off after traveling for most of the day. So they will try to accommodate you as soon as they can. It just might not be immediately upon your arrival, just because we are taking up such a large block of their conference space. We're taking up a little over 200 rooms. So it's a pretty significant space here, even though it's a large conference space. Mm-hmm. So just to give you that, they might not be able to give you that accommodation as soon as you arrive. But either way, we'll get you the confirmation numbers this evening so that you can get be a little more comfortable when you arrive on Friday. But
we good with those? Awesome. Okay. Perfect. All right, so let's continue on. So awesome. She said, got it. Thank you. Great. Thank you for that response. So the night officially ends around 9 p.m. Our staff will start turning over for the next day. You're free to stay and enjoy as much as you want. And just hang out and enjoy. There is a restaurant here at the hotel, and there are a lot of places within walking distance. You are more than welcome to go out and enjoy the city. There is also a complimentary shuttle. It's obviously based on availability and capacity that can take you within a couple of mile radius. They can pick you up and drop you off within a couple mile radius of the hotel here. But there's a lot of things within walking distance. Something that says 6 blocks, the blocks are actually very short, is really only, not even a half a mile away. They're very, very, very close. And they also have a concierge that can show you kind of where the local restaurants is, the local shops and things like that. So you're more than welcome to enjoy that when there's nothing in the VUI's programming. Sunday is actually very packed. We start bright and early with breakfast.
Saturday.
Oh, sorry. Whoa. I skipped Saturday. The whole day. So that's why she's here. So Saturday is jam-packed with a bunch of things. We start bright and early at 7 a.m. Breakfast is from 7 to 7:25. And then we start with a main session right at 7:25. Isa Sarah Bay will be coming, giving us a great keynote address. It's a bit interactive, so make sure that you're awake and alive and ready to go. How we do our meals here is we always do them buffet style, except for Sunday lunch, and I'll talk about that when we get there. We welcome you to go through the buffets, and then you take your plate right into the ballroom, and you find a seat. There is no reserved seating, only for Friday opening ceremony. There will just be probably 2 tables right in the very front for our honorees and their guests. And that is the only time that there is any reserved seating. There will be about 2 tables in the very back that will be marked for staff. So just please keep those available as well for staff. But you're more than welcome to sit where you like. The ballroom is not locked during the day, but it will be locked at night. So if you have any valuables, please make sure you take them from room to room with you as you're going through your breakout sessions. So we start with that keynote, and then we do some morning breakout sessions. And the ballroom is on the 3rd floor, and you can access that via stairs, escalator, or elevator. It's all right there. It's pretty minimal walking for those that might need, that might have, limited walking abilities. It's all pretty close, and our staff is here to help you as much as we can. So you'll just come down to the 2nd floor and go to your breakout rooms. You'll be in 2 different rooms. So you'll either have your 101 class or your 201 class. Just to be aware, the 101 class is pretty large, as it usually is. The temperature may change slightly in the breakout rooms throughout the day. We try to accommodate, and the hotel does as much as we can. So if you let the breakout room session monitor know it's a little cold in here or a little warm in here, they will let the hotel know to adjust the temperature, and it usually takes anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes depending on how many people are in that room. So just keep that in mind. It's always good to bring maybe a light sweater, jacket, or maybe even like a light shawl or
do it. You won't regret it.
You won't regret it. We try to keep the ballroom a little cooler And the breakout session rooms get slightly warmer because it's just a smaller space.
And just to clarify, on the 101, 201, when you registered, it was either startup or growth. So startup would be the 101, growth would be the 201. And I know some people have reached out to me too about changing that. That's a very simple change. So you don't have to ask permission if you just decide when you get here that you would rather take the growth opportunity rather than the startup opportunity. That's completely fine. Just go to that room instead. We just like to get a gauge on how many people are going to sign up, just so we have an idea of how many seats to place in the rooms when we're setting up logistics for the classes. So it's completely up to you. You can stick to the ones that you selected, or you can go to the other one depending on where you decide you're at after having been there for an evening and maybe talking with some other people. So just a little clarity there.
Thanks, Alyssa.
Also, one more.
We got a question.
We have a question from Pocket Pals, Wallabox. Hi. So we don't have any designated areas to set up samples for you, but if you have samples of something that you would like to hand out to people, we definitely encourage that, because that only encourages networking and chatting and maybe even partnerships, or, you know, talking with somebody who you can learn from. So we definitely encourage bringing samples. If you would like to hand some out to people, that's absolutely fine. We just don't have a designated place for you to set them up or sell them or anything like that, because we don't have staff to really monitor those areas or watch any kind of product as it sits around, because it is a pretty large place and we're not the only people in the conference center. So just a little clarity there.
Great. So breakout sessions in the morning, and then at lunch, we try to do a keynote with every meal. You'll see a theme here. So at lunch, you'll come through the line, you'll take your plate in, and then we have Larry Broughton speaking. He's a former Navy SEAL. He now owns Broughton Hotels, some boutique hotels in the California area. And he'll be speaking to us, doing a great keynote address on F words, and you'll find out what that means. It is not what you would normally go to as the F words, but it's a very, very really informative, great interactive session. You're going to really enjoy Larry's session.
You're gonna love him.
And he'll be here throughout the weekend. And he's also going to be doing something later on in the evening as well. And then the afternoon, we go back to our growth and startup, our 101 and 201 classes. And then we finish at dinner with a keynote session from Neil Godfrey. Neil Godfrey will be talking about a special site that you will have access to. We'll be making an announcement for that at the conference, that you'll have access to once you are alumni, be able to connect with each other, connect with past alumni very easily, start really good educational discussions, turning it into a bigger conversation. So we'll talk a little more about that when we get on. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick about that. I already sent an email out about that site. Great. I definitely encourage signing up, because it's going to be an incredible space for you to network with the other ladies who you meet at this conference. And then in the future, we're going to invite all past graduates to also join that site. So it's going to be an amazing place for you to network with not only the women you meet at this VWise, but all of the women who have gone to past VWises. And there's so much that you can learn from one another, whether it's lessons learned, success stories, failures, maybe even some of the instructors are going to join. I know Neil will be in there, so it'll be a great opportunity to ask questions for Neil. And then we're going to post a lot of content in there. So whether it's our own articles that we've written, or stories about successes from some of our graduates from past programs, or even articles that we think that would be valuable to you as you start or grow your business, definitely encourage it, because it's kind of like your own Facebook, but for VWise ladies only, which is, I think, the really special part about it. So I did send out some details in the past email that I sent you, but we're also going to have cards and slides up and during the conference, so to kind of remind you on how to get access to it. Really quick. So I'm going to be sending an email out this evening, and it's going to have a couple of things, and it might address some of the questions that I see in here. Itineraries. So I'm going to be sending out not only your confirmation numbers for the hotel, but I'm going to be sending out an agenda for the weekend, so you have an idea. It's not going to be the fully detailed agenda, but it's going to give you an overview of how the weekend's going to run. And then also, as far as the pitch party, which is, I think, the question I'm getting from Surwa. that will also, there will be a link for you to sign up for the pitch party. And that's something that I know Sandra touched on during phase one. The pitch party is incredible. If you have a 90-second pitch that you want to give for feedback, Isa Sarah Bay is going to be the one who's going to give that feedback. She's incredible. So I strongly encourage you to sign up. It is first come, first serve. There's only 14 spots to pitch. So if you see that email, jump on it if you want to pitch, because she doesn't have a lot of time to do it. And we have to be very kind of first come, first serve. And then we're going to have 30 spots for watching as well. So there are several different opportunities there, but it's going to be one link. So if you see that email tonight and you want to pitch to her, make sure you click on it and sign up. And then we'll kind of do a wait list just to see if that'll be something you can come to me and talk to me at the table. And if somebody backs out, then we can put you in there. But yes, those are the emails that come from vwise@spir.edu. Those are coming from me. So make sure you read those. Check your spam junk folder if you aren't seeing those, and I can resend some if you have any specific ones that you would like me to send. But most importantly, agenda, confirmation numbers, and the link to the pitch party are going to go out tonight.
Yeah, we did that strategically. We knew that you guys were, that you ladies were in the heart of phase one, getting a lot of email communication from Sandra, working on online discussions, and we didn't want to bombard you with email after email, important information. So we kind of saved some of those signups and your confirmation numbers for the week of, just to help you be a little more organized. We have it all here. Just wanted to let you know, we did that on purpose.
It's fresh in your inbox for the week.
So that you didn't, get bombarded or have to go back and search for all of those things. We have another question from Jay Bishop, right? Is the shuttle to from the airport complimentary? I apologize. There are no free shuttles for any hotels in the Pittsburgh area. There is one that's outside the Pittsburgh area that we could not do our event at. So they do not provide a complimentary shuttle. They have a shuttle that takes you a couple of miles to and from, but there are, Alyssa sent some communication a while back. She'll probably reiterate it again in the email. There are a couple of different avenues and ways that you can get to the hotel. There are, obviously we have taxi, we have Uber, and we have Lyft. They're all running strong here in Pittsburgh. And then we have a couple of different things. One is called Super Shuttle. If you go onto the Westin website and click transportation, I believe it's directions and transportation, it gives a couple of different options that you can take or call. You can schedule a one-way trip or a round trip. I believe it's about $30, $30 to $35 for a round trip. I apologize. We couldn't do much with that. It just depends on the location that we're at. The airport is about 20 minutes from the hotel with traffic. So just keep that in mind as you're coming in. However, if you are driving in, parking is, I believe Alyssa said, it's $22 a night, but we have a 35% discount rate that I was just notified of for any VWise attendees that are driving in. So we will, when you park, get your ticket, keep your ticket. We'll give you information on that. Just let us know you drove in, and we'll make sure that we have that all taken care of for you so you get that discount on parking. Any other questions yet?
So are you going to be provided with the classes that you picked? Yes. So what we do typically is we provide that to you at the registration table when you check in. We did badges a little bit different this year, so I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek because I have one. We used to do just like a simple printed badge that anybody could just want to toss out when they're finished with it. But this year we actually did some really nice card ones that has everybody's name printed on it. If you signed up with a business that you have, we put your business name on there. It's got all of our social media handles down there. And then on the back, it's got a nice quick overview of the agenda for you. So everybody's going to get one of these. That said, we're not going to have printed out little cards with the classes that you selected, but just come see me and I'll let you know. I'll be at the registration and the info table the entire weekend. So I'm your go-to person if you have questions about what you signed up for and where things are, any kind of questions like that. So I will be there for you. But yeah, I'm really excited about these. We tried these at a conference we did back in February and they were awesome. So definitely looking forward to give you guys these.
All right, so we got through dinner. Well, it's actually not dinner. So what we're doing is after the keynote with Neil Godfrey, everybody will come out and have there'll be a choice of what to do. So we will be offering, again, heavy hors d'oeuvres from 6 to 8 p.m. They will be out for you. And beverages. We will have exhibitor tables set up in the rotunda with some different, we brought in some local chapters that also have national organizations. So there's a SCORE will be here. The SBA might be here. The Small Business Development Center will be here. And then we have a kind of a local organization to the Pittsburgh area. Women's Small Business Association will be here as well. Just a really good connection to make there. And then a couple of others.
Because even if you're not local, they might have resources that they can share with you that will be beneficial to you as a female business owner.
Exactly. You can find the local chapter in your area, and so definitely stop by those tables because they will have information that is good for you, even if it's not in the local area, as Alyssa said, because there will be a chapter where you are or close to where you are. So that's one, exhibitor tables. Two is office hours. We like to call it Ask the Expert. So we'll have a lot of our instructors that you'll see throughout the weekend will be located in one room, in the Pennsylvania room, and they will each be at a table. And you will be able to sit down in a round table fashion, whether it's one of you or a couple of you sit down and get some questions answered. That's the time to ask them specific questions about your business. It's a great time, and they're there for 2 hours. The majority of them will be in there for 2 hours, and they will be there. We'll have a staff in there too, because you may not know what to ask or who to go to. There's a guide in your program that you'll receive when you arrive that says what their expertise is in and what table that they'll be at. We'll also have a diagram up there in the room for you and staff in there to help put you at a specific table. And you're free to move from table to table. It's a round table style, so if they're in a discussion with somebody else, you're welcome to sit down there. And once they're finished, they'll come right to you, because sometimes you may not know the question to ask, but the person that's at the table might have a question. Oh, I didn't even think about asking that question, and I have that same issue. So it's a great way to get those questions answered. So that's 2. 3, we have headshots going on from 6 to 8. So more professional headshots. Again, they're free of charge. Then we have number 4, we have the pitch party. There'll be 2 sessions. As Alyssa said, you'll get that link later on tonight. You can start signing up for that. You'll be graded, not graded, but critiqued on your pitch. Even if you don't get into one of those 7 for one session or 7 for the other to actually pitch, those are just the ones that are guaranteed. Last time I did this, she was able to do 10 total. It just depends on how quickly things move through. So if you're in the audience, you're going to learn a lot. So you learn a lot from the observations and her feedback. And then the last but not least, Larry Broughton will be doing what we call a jam session. No, it has nothing to do with music, and it is going to be from 7 to 8. Or 7:15 to 8. He will be in a room specifically going through, basically what he does is he brings up someone or talks about a specific topic that maybe the majority of people in the room have an issue with it, and he works through it with you practically. So he will be doing that, and so he's using you. It's a very collaborative time. Guided facilitation that he does, a really neat session. I encourage you to be a part of that. So that will be only offered once. This is all going to be in your program, and some of it's going to actually be on, as Alyssa said, on the back of your name tag. So those are all the things going on on Saturday evening. We'll be done with everything by 8 p.m. and then you are free to do as you please. Most of you will probably head to your rooms because you're exhausted from the day. Some of you might want to go out into the city, so that's great. Enjoy that time. As I said, there's restaurants, there's shopping, there's all kinds of things to do in Pittsburgh on a Saturday night. And then on Sunday, we start a little bit later. We're going to start around 7:30 with breakfast, and then we move into our keynote session for the morning. And it's going to be a really neat, unique time. I don't think that we've done this ever, or maybe not since I've been here. But we have one of our honorees from Friday will be actually speaking on keynoting on Sunday morning, telling her story, and then offering a really nice question and answer time.
So I'm going to jump in because I want to talk about her really quickly because I'm very, very excited for her to be joining us. Her name is Terry Sherling, and she is a retired master sergeant, and major general, not a master sergeant, major general. But then she went on to have a phenomenal civilian career. Her company, Tenica and Associates, was actually on the Inc. 5000 list in 2017. And in addition to that, we launched a new partnership with Inc. this year to highlight the top 50 veteran-owned businesses in the country, so the fastest growing veteran-owned businesses, and her company was one of those 50. So not only did she have a really successful military career, but then she went on to have an incredibly successful civilian career. So I just
number 15.
Yeah, I'm very excited for her to come and speak with you because she has an incredible story. She's just a wonderful woman, and we're really happy that she agreed to join us for the full weekend. Another thing I wanted to highlight, our photographer who is going to be here. He is a local photographer, but he's also a veteran, and he's bringing on a second photographer who's also a veteran. So it's going to be really cool to have somebody who understands kind of the work that you have all done. And as an entrepreneur himself, I think that's really phenomenal to have him here as well. And I was going to say one more thing, but I was going to answer a question. What's the best time to arrive? So we're going to have registration between 11 and 4, but you don't have to be here at 11. So if you have some things that you would like to do in Pittsburgh up to 4 o'clock, that's completely fine. I will still be doing registration during the opening session. So if you don't arrive until a little bit later, I'll just be up on a floor higher than where the registration table was set up. So you can still check in. It'll just be a little bit different than if you were there during the 11 to 4 period. But yeah, if you have some things that you're planning on doing in Pittsburgh, completely fine. Savage, she had mentioned that she started a thread in the online class about people, if you want to share an Uber or a cab, that's a great idea. If you can link up with somebody in the online class, go check out that thread, and you guys might be able to save a couple bucks by sharing a ride from the airport. Wiley, can we sit on pitches? Yes. So what the registration will look like for that this evening is there's going to be spots for I want to pitch or spots for I want to observe. So if you just want to sit in, or the tickets have sold out for the actual pitch piece, just select the observe ticket, and then you'll be able to sit in on the class as well.
And if you don't get a spot in that 37 that sign up, and really we do that is just to limit the room capacity of how many can fit in the room, and to help Isa Sarah with their time as well. If you miss the sign up or don't get to, it's not uncommon for you to just show up right at the beginning to see if everybody's shown up, and if there's a chance for you to come and sit in, because sometimes they sign up to get a spot and they decide to do something else, decide to go to a jam session or sit longer with the experts, and their spot becomes available. We'll have staff in there, a staff member monitoring that room, and we'll make sure to let you know, hey, I didn't sign up. Is there any more room to come in and observe? And you can deal with that at the time comes. But feel free to just stop by. All the rooms are very close together. So if you stop by and there's no room, there's time to get to something else.
Okay, that's all the questions.
Okay, perfect. All right, so after our morning session with Terry, we will then go into 3 different breakout session times. So one right after the other. And these what I like to call electives. They're about an hour and 15 minutes apiece with about 15 minutes transition in between. These are classes that you were able to take a look at ahead of time, and you can go, if you decide you want to switch a class, it's not a big deal. You can do that. We have capacity to do that in our rooms, but there's 6 different classes you can choose from, and you'll be able to see that some of those, almost every class is offered at least twice. So there are, I think, 3 classes that are only offered one time. So you'll kind of be able to check those out. And it's up to you whether or not, you want to, try to hit all of them or not. You won't be able to hit every single one, but this is why, and we haven't let you know this until now, we provide you with all of the materials that are used for all of the breakout sessions. So at the end of everything, once phase 2 is done and we're all back, probably the end of the week next week, you'll get a follow-up email that has, you know, a bunch of information about what to do now. And then it will have a link to a PDF of all of the presentations that have been given. So you're able to go back and take a look at those. And then we'll upload those presentations if we can to Moodle. You will have access to that Moodle site for a year. So you can continue conversations with people in your class. Sandra, however, may not be able to monitor it as much. But that's for you to get any, you know, documents that you need, and you'll get a reminder email a year from now to let you know, hey, we're about to close this out. Please get anything that you need. So, so that's how the morning is going to go. And then we do a little bit of a late lunch. So right about 1:30 or so, we're going to come into the ballroom for a very nice plated lunch to close out. And that'll just be our staff up there kind of talking about, all right, now we've gotten all of this information, you know, we've had all this training. Now what do we do? Where do we go now? And what can IVMF do for you here on out as you start your business or make that decision to do it, to make that leap? And what phase 3 is all about, and how that plays, and what are the resources that are now available to you. And that'll be the time that we share a lot of that information. There also will be post-conference a phase 3 webinar. You'll get introduced to Elvis, who is in charge of all our alumni, and he works with you to get you the resources you need, and he'll take you through an in-depth look at our transition assistance program and what's offered for you. And we'll talk more about that later, like I said, on Sunday. And everything will close out around about 2:30 p.m., maybe slightly before that. You're more than welcome to hang out, take pictures, mingle, whatever you need to do. Our staff will start to tear down as quickly as possible because other people will need to get in the ballroom for other events at times. And then another thing that we're going to offer on Sunday is you may have to check out your room at a certain time. And if that's the case, we will have an area for a luggage hold. So it won't be at the front desk, and we'll make sure to pass that to you on Saturday evening and again on early Sunday morning. The room that's located, and it will be monitored by one of the hotel staff, and they will run it just like a check-in and check-out. They'll give you a luggage tag, and it will be monitored there so that you won't have any issues, and you can have your luggage there. You don't have to carry it around from room to room with you. You're welcome to do that, but you don't have to, and there is an option for you. Anything else?
All right. Does anybody have any questions for us? I know we've said a lot to you, and you're going to get another email, like we mentioned, from me tonight with some follow-up details, just some last-minute stuff. But any more questions? If you have any, just go ahead and type them right in there in the comment section, and we'll try and answer them for you.
One more thing that I forgot to mention is it's not going to be in the agenda. We have a small research team that is coming down here to Pittsburgh to do a brief session on Sunday for up to 30 participants. And we're not going to send that email out until tomorrow. That'll come from me. So it'll be my personal email sending out to all of you. And it will have information to sign up for. We like to call it a focus group. And really, there'll be a really good explanation, but it's basically what they're doing is research on social capital. So how does networking and, you know, your areas of network help you in your business? Does it help? Does it hurt? What are the things that help you the best? Whether it's, you know, office hours, things like that we do, whether it's, you know, having, you know, hosted networking sessions, or whether it's, you know, mentorship. So they're going to be working through some of that with you, and they're going to ask you to take a survey if you register. And I'm not sure how long the survey is, but it's completely voluntary. It's up to 30 people, and it will happen, I believe, on the 3rd morning session on Sunday morning. And so all that information will be in an email that you get from me personally tomorrow. And you can just feel free. If you don't want to be a part of it, you can just delete it. If you want to, there'll be a link to sign up, and pretty much they'll just be asking a couple of questions, just your name and your email. and it's not very hard to register for that class. They just need that basic information to know how many people and who they are in that class. And they're all part of our institute doing this research project. So if you want to be a part of that, a great way to be a part of our, how to move forward and how to make our conferences better for the next group is to be a part of that session.
And the pre and post conference service.
Yes.
So if you did not receive the email from our research team for the pre-survey, let me know and I'd be happy to send you a link to it. It is really important for us to collect the information from those surveys because it only influences future conferences or future programming, future research that the Institute does. And I know that you might not think that maybe you don't think that is actually beneficial to you, but a lot of the research that our team does, they do some pretty phenomenal research. I mean, they've done some work with the Office of Budget Management. They've done stuff with the White House. They've done stuff with the George Bush Institute. They do a lot of really incredible and impactful research. And not only does that influence factors for you as a business owner going forward, but it could also influence resources that become available for you now or in the near future. So I always encourage participants to take part in the surveys or to give some feedback on the conferences as we give those surveys out, because it really does influence the quality of what is put out there and kind of the impact that we can have, because ideally that's what we want to do is positively impact your careers as entrepreneurs. I see a couple of questions about check-in and closing time Sunday. I see you ladies answered. Thank you for helping out with that. Coaches and mentors available. So that would be like the office hours on Saturday evening. That would be a really good time to kind of sit down with people who would be able to provide valuable insight with you. Neil Godfrey, she'll be around after her keynote on Saturday to chat with anybody who wants to chat with her. So there are going to be a lot of people for you to connect with. One thing I will mention is a lot of the instructors who come in for this do it out of the pure fact that they want to help you in your businesses. So they come out to help us out. And so if you can connect with any of them after a session, I definitely encourage you to. They do like to keep in touch, and they can be mentors for you, just depending on their specialty and what you're looking for. But I definitely recommend chatting with the people that you sit in on their sessions, or even during office hours, making those connections with the experts as you have questions for them. And
in phase 3, you'll have access to a program called eMentor. Yeah. And eMentor is a great, obviously it's a mentorship it's distance, but it's a great lifelong. It might take a little while to match you up, and you work with Elvis through that and through that eMentorship program. We've had, it's not that if once you get a one and done mentor, if you get a mentor and you've kind of grown out of that mentor, you just recontact and go through the process again, and they'll hook you up with someone new. Or if they weren't the right fit for you, they will get you. We have that happen sometimes. And so we want to make sure we get the best fit for you. So if for some reason you don't feel that connection with someone here, you can get that through our phase 3 program.
No, there is not going to be assigned seating. So we want to make this the best opportunity for you to make the connections that you want to make. So certainly pick your seat, who you want to sit with, network with the ladies that you want to network with, get up and change your seat. You don't have to sit at the same table every time. So no assigned seating. This is very flexible for you to have the best experience possible.
And almost all of our seating is classroom style. In our ballroom, it'll be banquet style. You'll be sitting, you won't ever have your back to the stage. No one will be sitting with their back to the stage. It's how we design it. You'll always have a table to be able to take notes. The lighting will always be pretty good to be able to take notes, even in the ballroom sessions, the main sessions. And then in most of our breakout sessions, it's classroom style, which means you will have a table in front of you. There'll be a few things happening on Saturday evening, which won't be classroom style. It's just for the size of the room that we'll be in. But almost everything else, you'll have a table. You'll be able to very easily put your stuff down and take notes. With a lot of ladies that like to take notes throughout, and I encourage that throughout the weekend.
Okay, I don't see any more questions coming through, so I think we are going to call that a night, but be on the lookout for that email from me with the additional action items or details that you guys are looking for. Yeah, it's great to have that freedom to move around. I agree. But just keep on the lookout for that email from me. And then tomorrow, if you're interested in the research opportunity, the one from Deanna, we'll get those out to you. And we are very excited to see all of you. So thank you for joining us tonight. And we will see you all on Friday. And again, send me an email. If it's time sensitive, I will definitely respond to you as soon as I can. All right.
All right. Thank you. See you soon. Have a safe trip.
Bye.
Bye.